Bert Salomon, welcome to the Edinburgh.
Great, thanks for having me.
It's good to have you back. This is not your first visit to the Ed, and we've talked about many things before.
Yes.
But specifically today, I was just going to ask you a few things. Your family business dates back over 200 years.
Yes.
So, how do you see yourself and how you work your day? Are you a custodian of a tradition, or are you a modern day winemaker?
Yeah, good question. I think you are both, although I don't really feel so much as a winemaker. I think the more important thing is the grape growing. So the quality of the wine is to a very large part grown in the vineyard. So it's first the quality of the vineyard side, and then how you run the vineyard, and then in the cellar it's only a small percentage that you can improve. You can make it, of course, worse if you don't work precisely and clean and gentle. But so yes, I'm both. You know, the home winery in Austria in Stein. Like you said, 220. We have next year 222, which will be good fun. We have to celebrate. You respect very much the past, but my father also was an innovator, so he would be in favor of, we always need to try new things also, push the boundaries.
And you're conscious of preserving what you have for your children?
Yes, and the children, they took already a few steps in the winemaking, wine growing direction. They did 5 years of secondary school with a special subject in wine growing, yes. Winemaking. So, but they are too young. They are 23. We have twins at 23, so they still need time to join.
Yeah. The main wine variety of Austria is Grüner Veltliner. It's 30% of all wine grown in Austria is Grüner.
Yeah.
How would you describe Grüner to an Australian palate? The person from Australia.
If you compare it, it's always easier to relate, and it's definitely not close to Riesling, although they grow next to each other.
Yes.
And sometimes they can get some similarities in taste, but this is more to the origin than to the character of the grapes. The grapes have bigger bunches, the Grüner Veltliner, bigger berries, more thick-skinned, yes. Less vulnerable to botrytis. The wine character is more spice and herbal driven than fruit driven. The Riesling, we enjoy the stone fruit characters, yes. The white peach or the apricot. On the Grüner you have more herbal, spicy tones, and if there is fruit flavor, it's more citrus, lime, if they are young. But Grüner Veltliner has one great advantage. It's very easy to combine with food. It's not difficult. It's difficult to make a mistake. On Grüner Veltliner, you just need to choose if you go for a lighter style character or a bigger style. But generally, they are without oak. Tend to have a good acidity. But I give you too long answers to short questions.
No, it's one of those things for the Australian. I never like to compare Grüner to Riesling, but as far as the acidity, it's more Riesling than it is Chardonnay. It's more Riesling than it is Sauvignon Blanc. Yeah. And so I sometimes use that as the base to build their profile.
Yeah. If I look back to the first years when Salomon wines were imported into Australia, that was maybe 15 years ago, it was only Riesling in the beginning, and now it's 50-50 Riesling and Grüner Veltliner. On two reds in Austria, we only do them here in the southeast shoulder of the Elliot Hills along the Finniss River.
And you do spend a lot of time here in South Australia at the Finniss.
Yes.
Do you have a house down there?
No, I have a fantastic vineyard, and I'm building a shed now for the tractor, okay. and a room with a shower. But also I have made lots of friends and almost family, a couple from whom we rent always the same house in Port Villanga,
Yes.
which is a 20 minutes, 25 minutes drive to my vineyard. So
Fantastic.
I can see, if I have breakfast, I can see the ocean. This is very special
Yes.
for a landlocked, for a land rat. You know, I
Yes,
grew
yeah,
up in
yes.
Austria, it's a landlocked country,
Yes.
so and at home it's snowing now.
And cold.
And cold, yes.
So how long do you spend here?
Always, I'm coming here always February, March. That's I plan my year around this, which is easy because a few lighter wines we already had them bottled before I leave, and then the rest stays all on the fine lees and enjoys the cold time in the cellar in Austria.
Yes.
And here I need to have some time to grow into the vineyard to see how the grapes come along.
They've done very well with the wines.
Yes.
I remember the vintage that Jancis Robinson wrote very highly.
Yes, that was at 2001, and we made this Ortos wine then again in 2003, where we still only have a little bit magnums left. And then the next vintage will be 2009 and 10, both fantastic years, not 11. Why didn't we do it in between? I wasn't sure how it would turn out, you know, with to burn a wine 100% with new oak. Our other wines, other reserve wines, they generally have more. Or I start from another way. Something that we try to accomplish in Austria, we want to combine complexity and delicacy. So which is not easy. Sometimes the power is overpowering the delicacy. So the same thing I want to have in the reds. Although I enjoy the richness and the strength and the power of the Australian fruit that's given to us through the climate and the soil, I also want to have some delicacy in the wine. And if the wine does not have lots of great character by itself, 100% new oak kills the wine.
Well, you obviously respect the fruit because your term you used earlier was to burden the wine with oak.
Yes.
Makes it carry it like a weight.
Yeah.
Did you do this in any other countries? You're not a flying winemaker?
Good question. Of course, I'm flying. I spend too much time on the plane, but I'm not really a flying winemaker in the sense of term as you use it. It's more that I feel that I'm an Australian, and maybe you don't know, but I first had the vineyard in Australia before taking over the family winery in Austria. So I started with the vineyard here in the mid-90s. In the family winery I was not meant to take over, and I took then over because my brother called me home.
Yes.
He had cancer, and he said his energy level was low. So he was very far-sighted. He doesn't live anymore, so now I run both.
Congratulations, and thank you for coming in today.
No, thanks for having me. Thanks very much.
Cheers.